All right, guys, welcome to the Talking Shit with B-Rag podcast. Today we have a very, very special episode. A childhood best friend of not mine, but my brother's, who you have seen on the show, my brother Rick. This guy's been through hell and back, and he's here to tell his story. It's an amazing story. As you see, we got the producer on. We got Keith over here, the main man that makes this show as magical as it is.
What up?
Makes it look so good. And our special guest, Bobby. You want me to say your last name or no?
Fuck it.
Fucking Bobby Maida over here, dude. I've known this kid for my whole life. My whole life I've known this kid. And when he reached out, had to have him on the episode, have him on the show. He's got a crazy fucking story. As you guys know, we talk a lot about addiction because me and Keith both struggle with it. He also struggles with it himself. As an addict,
almost 7 years clean now.
Well,
but
awesome.
Yeah.
That's fucking congratulations, dude. That's sick as fuck. Obviously, I'm not. You guys all know that. I'm not fucking sober. But yeah, he's here to tell his story. He reached out to Keith and myself and wanted to be on the show and, talk about a little bit about what he does. So yeah, buddy, what's going on? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in probably like fucking 20 years, it feels like. So
yeah, probably 2009, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
Time.
It's been a long fucking time since I've seen you. But you've been doing some incredible fucking things. Just sitting here, this guy's on the phone left and right, Mr. Phone over here, having to deal with his business and shit. But we'll get into that as the show goes on. Right now, we're gonna touch bases a little bit of the backstory, the beginning, how everything started. I've known you, like I said, since we were little fucking kids. You were my brother's best friend. You used to come over to my house. I used to beat the shit out of you. I don't know. How tall are you right now?
5'8".
No, because I'm fucking 5'10", and you got to be
There's
as tall.
no fucking way I'm taller than 5'8".
Yeah, you are. You got to be.
I also haven't been to the fucking doctors in 20 years.
Fix your mic.
Is
You gotta.
mic on? Is it
No,
on?
it's on.
Okay,
He's
there it is.
you
Yeah,
gotta,
there we go.
yeah. So you can move it. Don't be scared to move the fucking thing. It goes wherever the fuck you want to take it. So
So if you want to sit back, just pull it close.
yeah, if you want to like
Pull
get
it closer
comfortable
to
and
you,
like
you can
lean
just
back a
chill
little
and
bit and
just-
like relax. So this is how I do it. I sit right back, fucking get
However you want
nice
to.
and comfortable.
Get that shit right up there. You ain't got to move. Just
It's so funny. I got to do this with everybody. I was a learning experience for me because when I first started, I've been listening to podcasts forever. That's what gave me the idea to do this show. But when people come on, they want to like be this far away because I don't know if they like watch singers and stuff do it and they're like wah the whole time. So people are, like don't get up on it. But when you're recording an audio thing, you have to kind of be like right up on this. And what I've realized is like these foam pieces, you can literally like just put your mouth on it and just do this.
Got it. Yeah, it's better now.
It sounds, see how nice and crisp
Now
it
we can
is.
hear you, yes.
But anyway, so this motherfucker grew up around the block from me. He was best friends with my brother. We had a fun childhood of crazy games that we would make up, fucking coming over to my house and swimming. We used to play hockey. That was like our big thing at my house. I was telling Keith this at his house earlier. You remember the fucking gloves? We would have put my hockey gloves on, and we would just start beating the shit out of each other, dude. Your brother was a beast when we used to do that shit. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was me, my brother, and your brothers.
Yeah, and fucking just raise hell in the neighborhood.
We had 16-ounce boxing gloves back in the day. We always used to throw them on down at Harmon, Myers, anywhere, just start boxing people.
Have you ever worn a pair of hockey gloves?
Not hockey gloves. No.
So hockey gloves are like, it's like a super hard foam. So like boxing gloves have a little give to them, whereas like hockey gloves, it's like hitting a wall. Mm-hmm. And we would put them on and thought we had boxing gloves on. Mm-hmm. And then we would just sit there and throw real punches at each other and everything. I mean, we were fucking little. So
fucking 12, I think I was.
Oh, I think we were younger than that. Because I started getting into shit when I was about 12. So I don't think we were doing that. That's kind of when I started my career of being a piece of shit. So it had to have been younger than that. But anyway, let's get into your life a little bit. Enough of this shit. So what is your job title as of right now? Just so the audience knows.
Right now, I'm a director of business development for a detox and residential program for substance abuse and mental health.
Fucking A. So if you guys haven't seen yet, I made a reel earlier in the month, it was probably last month now, saying that we were going to have a rehab counselor come on. And I wasn't obviously sure of your title, but that's what I said. So this is who we're talking about. This kid, What do you? What? Okay, so just explain to the audience like what it is that you do.
So
and then we'll get into your story a little bit.
basically, I like grow the business. I get the word out for our treatment center. I help people get into treatment centers. I set up aftercare, like with sober livings, with outside psychiatrists. I make sure that the proper care is being done at the facilities.
You do like a lot of marketing for the
Yes.
for.
I market the treatment center. I help
Okay.
people get into my facility.
Okay, but you also said you do a lot of the hands-on stuff. so
Hands
like,
on. I do drive. I pick up people in dangerous neighborhoods. I do interventions pretty much weekly. I was just at an intervention with the police, getting a guy out of his house that was drinking 2 gallons of Fireball a day.
Ew, why that?
2 gallons of Fireball.
Was it just because so I don't want to get into your patient's like backstory, but like in that sort of situation, like as the show knows, I'm a big proponent of Bud Light Limes. I love them. I'm like such a half a fag over here drinking Bud Light Limes and shit. But I usually have like a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of vodka so I can drink throughout the show. But we're gonna do stuff later, so I can't get that fucked up. But 2 gallons of
I didn't believe it. I'm
Fireball?
like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There's
Fireball.
are you like trying to get a better taper or something?
Like,
until I went there and
Fireball?
picked him up. He said 40 milligrams of Xanax. I'm like, dude, you're fucking lying.
40 milligrams of
40
Xanax
milligrams.
and 2.
Wow.
Man, the human body
40
can handle a
milligrams of
lot.
Xanax.
Because-
oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were drug addicts, and like we were talking about it in that episode that we did. Check it out on the YouTube page. Man, I really was a pussy if you think about it. I was doing 5 hydro 10s at most. Like, at most every day. Like I'm a little bitch. And I'm like, I'm a drug addict. No, I'm not anything like that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But that's part of my job. I do all that active interventions. I also do alumni. I stay in contact with people that leave my facility, make sure they're on the right track. Help them find AA meetings in like their surrounding areas. Working with the families to make sure they're on their ass when
Yeah.
they leave, so they don't end up relapsing.
Of
'Cause
course.
without family support, without outside like help, there's no chance of
Right.
success.
Nope.
Like if you actually put in the work, and if I'm doing my job correctly, and the patients come in and listen, their chances of staying sober is like 90%. If
Really?
they actually put the work in.
No shit.
Addicts make it harder on themselves.
Of course, yeah. I feel like most addicts, it's like you cause problems for yourself. Especially if you're in like that state or you're that bad. It's like you don't care what the outcome is of what you're doing as long as you're getting your fix. Am I wrong?
You're right.
Yeah.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, I've obviously been around a lot of drug addicts over the years and like in sketchy situations and shit, but that's kind of like my firsthand experience as well, is like when you meet these kinds of people with that kind of mental illness and that bad of an addiction, it's like they don't give a fuck. They just want to get high, and then whatever the outcome is after, that's what it is. So, if you don't mind, I would love for you to get into your story a little bit and tell the audience, because when we were kids, you're a state champion wrestler, wrong?
Not state champion. I was pretty good at the time until drugs and alcohol.
Well, motherfucker was good.
I was pretty good.
Him and his brother, I mean, dude, some of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. And we're not talking WWE. We're talking fucking real, like, Olympic wrestling, like that sort of shit, I mean, you guys were on like training regimens and shit when we were kids. I mean, you guys took it so serious. Is your brother a state champion?
No.
Or you guys never made it to states?
No. So I was good.
Don't downplay yourself either, because you were fucking
I was
awesome.
good until I fucking started going to parties in high school and not taking it serious. Drinking a lot. Like,
Right.
if you want to compete, you got to be at your best.
Yeah, of course.
So
Focus
if
on that.
somebody
That's gotta
got
be
me out of
your-
the first period, I'm like, Jesus save me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to lose.
So the reason I brought up his height is because when we were kids, dude, he was so small. And like not even kids, like even into teens, you were always the smallest guy. And then, like I said, I haven't seen him in I'm 30. I'm going to be 32 in September. I haven't seen you since, fuck, dude, I probably 16, 17 years old when I moved to California. And maybe I saw a glimpse of you in passing, but like I haven't sat down and had a conversation with you or like an interaction with you it's probably been 20 years. If not, I mean,
I
it's been a long
like
time.
96 pounds though.
Yeah,
when you
dude,
seen me.
he's
So I
so
wrestled
little.
103 pounds at 11th grade.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So the audience understands. Like, that's what I mean when I when I asked him like how tall he was. Now I'm like, because he walks into my house and I haven't seen him. And I'm like, this motherfucker's a normal sized human now, because he never used to be. He was always this like small ass dude, and he comes into my house and I'm like, God damn! I'm like, this fucker's he's grown now.
Well, wrestlers, they always like they have to maintain their the class they want to wrestle.
Well, I just
in.
meant
like,
short.
Every wrestler, like,
Yeah, but I
regardless.
feel
No,
like
yeah,
that's
no,
talking
yeah.
about. So
Regardless,
I
like-
grew massively after I got clean.
Okay.
So from high school to addiction, I was like, I went to jail and rehab, but I'd get up to like 130, then start getting high again and drop down. I went to treatment at 98 pounds,
Jesus,
like fucking tiny. And I left treatment at 150
holy
from just
fuck.
eating normally.
Do you have stretch marks? Because I do.
Gaining that? No, I haven't. Never lost it.
Well,
I gained it all. No,
So-
no stretch marks.
When I got, I'm not gonna say. When I kicked pills and started drinking every day, I went from 135 pounds to 210 pounds in less than a year. So I got fat. I was a big boy for a minute there. So
I can't gain weight.
On my love handles right here, I have stretch marks from it because I gained so much. It's like one of the most embarrassing things about my physical appearance. So I love having my shirt off, like, but I hate that shit. And you can't see them now because I'm skinny again. So like they shrink or whatever, but I know they're there and it drives me crazy.
No, I was just so sucked out with not eating for like months.
Right.
So when I just got to my normal weight,
Oh,
that's
okay.
all it
Oh,
was.
okay,
Like
I
I didn't
gotcha.
get like fat. I just
Right.
wasn't
No, I
fucking boned.
That's what
fucking
your skin
blew
was
the
already
fuck
built
up.
for.
I blew the fuck up. You got to look at old pictures of me, dude. I was a fucking house. That one picture. Oh, we put it in the.
I have that saved, yeah, because I can use it for future episodes. I can throw it in here right now, right here.
Yeah, we put it in one of the old episodes, dude. I was sitting on a bar stool, hunched over, and I looked like a fucking barrel. I was so fat, dude. It was wild. Like, nothing against fat people. Please don't come after me about that. But it's just weird seeing me like that. But anyway, so we used to bring you to parties. So we'll get back to all that shit. We used to bring you to parties. You and my brother. I think I kind of had a little bit to do with.
I have a crazy story about your house, actually.
Which time? At my parents or at my mom's?
Your mom's.
Okay. So
That place.
yeah, we used. I kind of. Now that I'm older, I feel responsible for like creating people's problems because I have a child and like. I just have a conscience now, or a conscience, or whatever, however you say the word.
People party.
I know, but
We
like
would have found somewhere else to go.
they were so innocent back then, and they just wanted to hang out with me so bad, and then I would get them. Fuck! I watched you puke on yourself when we were kids.
100
so
times,
many
even at
times.
Keith's house. That was like normal,
Dude, I would
for years.
I would because I don't understand.
Drink until you can't.
I don't understand my genetic makeup, but even from the first time I started drinking, I've always had this crazy tolerance. Even when we were little, I could drink 15 beers and I'd be hammered, but nobody else could do it, and I wasn't throwing up on myself. Whereas
We come from a family of alcoholics.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
in our
crazy.
genes.
It's
We're
so
used to
crazy.
it.
And I remember, I think we were up behind PNC one time partying up. Remember we used to go up there in the woods. I feel like I handed you a gallon, like those plastic gallon bottles of Mr. Boston, and I made you chug it.
That was normal.
Boston's.
Everybody did.
I used to make you chug it, and then you just like
Drink whatever
fucking
weekend
probably
when I was
20
14.
minutes later when it hit him, he's just like violently throwing up, and we were such assholes, and I was such a piece of shit, dude. I think about that stuff, and I'm like laughing at you instead of making sure you were okay. I'm just like, look at this fucking pussy, dude. Like, he can't fucking do nothing. Oh man. I can't believe you agreed to do this show.
There's an identical story about that. I'm not gonna say who I went. We went to the airstrip. Remember those?
Oh,
parties?
hell yeah,
my
of course.
God.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that place
We-
was dope. I like that
We
place.
got
That was
there
a dope
and
place
none
to
of us
party.
had any alcohol. Like, why go to a party
I
with
there?
nothing? No, I
No,
don't think
okay.
so. So I'm like,
I
fuck
only
it.
went there a couple times.
My
There's
parents
alcohol
have
there.
everything.
Yeah.
So
I remember
we
getting-
all hopped in the car, went to my parents' house, picked up alcohol. I get there. Somebody picks me up upside down and makes me chug a whole bottle of Jim Beam
Dude,
upside
he
down.
was.
Oh, my
People
God.
don't understand. You were so little, and I think that definitely contributed to people fucking with you.
Absolutely.
100%. And back then, I don't know if it was that you wanted people to like you or what the deal was, but you would let anybody do anything to you. Like, it was wild, bro. I'm spitting on myself, right? It was crazy. I just, it's so.
I mean, that's an issue with a lot of addicts. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to feel a part of, because a lot of people have like, I didn't have that like I didn't belong.
Right.
For like my whole life. See, and I still struggle with that.
We always loved hanging out with you.
That's just, you can't control it.
No, I
That's
get
just,
it.
you're born with it.
See,
stuff just leads to it.
I don't know about you, but I don't know if this is a Crane genetic thing, but I feel like it might be. But my girlfriend also, Lindsay, who you guys have seen, she's a staple on the show. She also struggles with not addiction, but like depression and mental. I don't want to say I hate saying that word, mental illness,
mental health,
but
depression, anxiety,
mental health. That one,
health, regardless, how you look at it, it's mental health.
I just don't get it. I don't fucking get it. She says I'm depressed, but I'm like, no, I'm not, dude. I'm just having a bad day. And like, I don't ever feel that I have to like impress anybody. But then she tells me that I'm like conceited and like I'm always showing off. And I'm like, I feel like that's just me. At this point, I'm fucking 31 years old. I've been doing this. I've been like this since I was a kid. Like literally. So are you the same way? Or do you also struggle? I mean, I know you had anxiety.
I still have anxiety.
See,
it's still there.
I didn't get it until I had a kid.
It depends on the situation.
It fucking.
I guess if I overthink something, I'm giving myself anxiety. If I don't think about it, if I can distract myself, I can stay away from it. But like when I start thinking, I think.
Really?
Yep. I'll play every scenario out, and I'm like, oh shit.
And then you probably got to have crazy anxiety.
With a lot of mental health, but I have learned how to work with it over the years. Like I don't take any medications. I don't have anything against them.
Right.
I just, when I got clean, I wanted to do it my way.
Right.
With the help of others, and it worked.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were talking about it before the mics heated up or whatever. But like some people, you can't take medication because you will find a way to abuse it. And like,
I'll fucking smoke it, shoot it, or fucking put it in my ass. I'll figure the fuck out. I don't know. Like, I'll figure something out.
100%, dude. Like when we were kids, drinking. Like even to this day, if I have a cold, like I'm gonna take some cough syrup. I'm like, well, I'm gonna drink a little extra. You know, get a little fucked up from
I feel
it.
that.
You know what I mean?
I got a question for you.
It's so weird.
So as a counselor, how do you feel about...
I'm not a counselor, though.
Well, not counselor, but like from your line of work, sorry. So from your line of work, how do you feel about the whole like Cali or Canna sober theory?
Cali, like
get
weed
into
sober?
Like smoking once in a while, drinking here and there, not like...
Do you consider that sober?
Sober from your drug of choice and the like that tree. So
I believe some people could... It's case by case. Everybody's different. Me personally, if I'm drinking, I'm going to end up doing something else. I realized that my first year I got sober. But I do believe marijuana, medicinal marijuana can help people suffer with mental illness and substance abuse. And I do believe that some people have got put into a bad situation that led them to opiates or Xanax or drinking too much, and then they could just work on themselves and go back to just drinking. I've seen it, and I've seen people have successful lives. It just depends on the person. It really does.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't tell anybody that they're an addict, and I can't tell anybody how to do it. They have to figure it out for themselves.
Right.
That is the best way to go about it, though. Like you can't. All the years, someone's telling me like, "Oh, you're getting high. You need to stop. You're fucking yourself up. You're going down a bad path." And I'm like, "No, fuck you. You don't know me." Like,
right.
I know me better than you. Blah blah blah. But as soon as I accepted it, it's like that was the turning point. Once you
this
understand
is the one advice
are.
I do. So if I'm working on somebody reaches out to me that wants to get clean, right? I always try to do the abstinence base because that's me. So I could talk to somebody on how I did it. And it worked because that's the experience that I went through.
It took you a long time, though. It wasn't like overnight.
So I tried the Suboxone way. I would abuse it. I'd take 5 and sell 25 and come back and take one the day before while using heroin the whole month.
Right.
And I was doing that for a long time because I'd sniff it, shoot it. Like I said, I would figure out how to get high.
Yeah.
I would do multiple till I'm drilling on myself. But some people need that. So I am for it. I work with marijuana maintenance programs that I've seen a lot of successful people complete that program, get their kids back, their jobs back, their families back.
That's awesome.
So it's just
good.
it's case by case.
Nice. Okay.
But
Okay.
what I really like to do is like if it's a first time client, like I want them to try abstinence.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't want them to like, oh, those people are doing Suboxone. How about I try or methadone or smoking weed?
So obviously, I've been on Suboxone for 10 years now, I think, something like that. Pretty close to a decade. I'm on 2 milligrams of it though, which is like
Nothing. Placebo at this point.
That's what the doctor said. It's more mental than anything. I think methadone is insane because I used to use it when I couldn't find pain pills back in the day, and I almost liked methadone, the methadone high, more than painkillers.
I fucking loved methadone.
So-
I used to be able
I
to shoot
never-
heroin and methadone and take a benzo at the same time, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
I never
it-
felt a buzz off methadone.
See, that's wild. How?
No matter how much I would take, I was getting liquid methadone from some kid that was grabbing it from the clinic. Here
Were you?
at
What were
some
you?
point.
What were you using at the time? Were you using any other opiates?
Not really. No, I was always into Xanax. More
Yeah,
or
I was
less.
saying
But
that
your
was just-
body, everybody's body reacts to meds differently. That
Yeah.
might be why you just might not react well with methadone, so you don't feel the effect.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
and it
fair.
was
I
just
never-
it was
they
just
never-
always crazy to me that like methadone was a way out. Like, methadone clinic. So like I went to California for a while, and the way they do it out there is they have a clinic and you stand in line to get your fix every day. And like in Santa Cruz, there was a clinic right down the street from where I lived, and like you would drive down the street and you had to be there. You had to be there the day before, basically, to just to get your like it's crazy. And it was like these people are addicted to the methadone, not the fucking like obviously they're opiate addiction or whatever, but at this point they're addicted to methadone, and the withdrawals from methadone are way worse than any opiate known to man. Well, they say that fentanyl is pretty bad these days. I never tried it. Never. Thank God I was out of the game before fentanyl ever hit the streets or whatever. But I don't know. It's crazy to me that to this day methadone is still a treatment. Like it's still like, hey, we have this over here if you want to try it. Like,
But it's more or less
It's
the
crazy.
Same thing as
It's a harm
Suboxone.
reduction. I'm
It's hard- yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm for it for some people. Not everybody.
see, I just feel like if you're in the thralls of it that much and you're that much of an addict, like say you take a 11-year heroin addict and he's trying to get clean, like he's not going to want to be on methadone. You know what I mean? He wants the heroin.
If he
like-
wants to get sober, he'll
Yeah, but then he'll eventually okay, so say he starts a methadone program and he kicks heroin and he's doing methadone. I don't know the milligrams of methadone, I forgot, but say he's on like the strongest methadone that they offer or whatever, like he's just eventually going to be insanely addicted to methadone.
And they're gonna need to go to treatment,
And then he's going to leave methadone to go shoot heroin because
and that
unless he's on it.
No,
wrong
but
with that.
I don't know.
you
You're not
should
wrong
be
with
tapering off of methadone.
That-
Right,
With your
yeah.
doctor.
Right,
So
right.
it depends.
But how many doctors are actually rigorously doing that?
I have no idea.
I feel like, so from my own personal experience on Suboxone, like I did that myself. I started on 8 milligrams because Courtney made me, because I was buying pills on the street and we got pregnant. Oh, she got pregnant for my daughter, and she's like, "You're spending $600 a month on pills." She's like, you're done. She's like, I already made the appointment. She's like, you're going to this Suboxone doctor. She's like, you're doing this. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I want to be a dad. And then I kind of fibbed a little bit when I got my Suboxone prescription. And I told him that I was taking more than I did. So I got on a higher dose of Suboxone. But it was so little that I only got prescribed 8 milligrams. So that's what I started on. But this was back in 2015, and that was like the end of my run. Like that was the end of my everything, like not my drinking obviously, but that was the end of like my pill usage and my opiate usage. Yeah. So I got put on that, and I didn't wean down until it was honestly this is how fucked up I am. I would not take it. So when I joined the motorcycle club that I was in, we were boozing a lot and doing other shit. So like I would only take a little bit of Suboxone because I would get restless legs super bad. And I would take just enough so like I wouldn't have restless legs that night. And then I would have all this leftover Suboxone. So I was like, well, fuck it. I don't need to take it all the time, I guess. I'm fine. So then I went from 8 to 4 in a week. And my doctor was like, holy shit, like, that's insane. Like, nobody does that apparently because it's such a high milligram to jump down.
That's a big drop.
But it didn't affect me at all.
50%.
It literally, yeah, exactly. It did not affect me at all whatsoever. And then I was like, well, if I can do that, I can drop even lower. Like, I did it all myself.
You never felt it from 8 to 2?
Not really, no. And I just did it. I mean, I drink a lot, so. But I hate this. I don't drink a lot because I don't drink Sunday through Thursday. Mm-hmm. So there's 4 days right there, 5, whatever the fuck it is, that I'm completely sober. Well, Suboxone. But I don't drink at all. I won't have a drop of booze. And then when I don't have to work is when I drink. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So maybe that helped. Maybe like the drinking helped a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't. There was really no.
Replacement therapy? Is that what people call it?
Or just, yeah, you're replacing one thing for the next. Mm-hmm. So I guess I didn't really. Yeah, no, I didn't really feel it. But there was really no push from my doctor. It was the moral of the story. Mm-hmm. Like there was really no. There was no plan. There was no. And I fucking hope nobody sees.
You just planned it yourself.
I just did it myself, and it was all because I wanted to drink more.
That's the strongest part, though. You chose to do it. You chose to get sober. You chose to make that choice.
I'm not sober either. I don't claim that at all.
That right there's sober. You know what I mean.
I don't do pills anymore.
You made
that's
the choice
what I say.
To cut your dose in half. You made that choice. So that goes a lot farther when you're trying to accomplish something other than someone saying you have to do this.
Right.
Nobody wants to be told what to do.
Yeah, well, especially
you know
me.
What I mean?
Jesus Christ.
Nobody wants to be told what to do. It's human nature.
Yeah. So I know, obviously, you guys know the show. We jump around a lot. We get all over off topic.
Do you want me to finish that story about the whiskey, though?
Yeah.
So I chunked it.
If either one of us cut you off, say, shut the fuck up.
It's really funny,
we're so bad at like he yelled at me about it earlier. So, yes, please.
So that happened instantly drunk. Like by the time they put me down, I don't remember anything the rest of that night. I guess I was like sleeping on like the pallets and they had to like move me off every time to get another one. And I woke up the next day underneath my dad's car. And he woke me up.
He's like, what are you doing?
I'm like, what the fuck happened? He's like, dude, I had one shoe on with no sock on that foot.
I'm turning that fan
the other one I had a sock on.
Just down one.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no shirt on in my boxers. So I have no idea what happened. I heard they brought me home and I wish I could say his name, but he put me underneath my dad's car.
Say it. I don't fucking care.
No.
Well, was it one of our friends?
Yeah, but
then listen, if it's a friend of ours, nobody just say it because nobody cares.
It's fine. No, but that was probably the most drunk I ever got.
In your whole life?
I drank the whole bottle of Jim Beam in maybe 8 seconds.
I've not done
upside down. It was I was
upside down. He says,
like my feet were in the air.
So much more comfy without them headphones. It's like I tell you.
Yeah, but I like to hear myself especially when we're doing this.
Invest in earbuds for this, then get some wireless earbuds with them.
I have a pair.
My goodness,
I got a pair.
That might have not.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I
alerted. My fault.
I've woken up in the middle of the ice out to my camp in the winter with no sight of land.
Dude, and you
I know where
I was gonna say I know where your camp is.
I stand up, I'm looking left, right. There's I'm like in the middle of the river.
Oh, dude, that's gotta be scary.
Cold.
As fuck.
It was the middle of winter. I had no jacket on. A pair of Vans or something.
That was just booze.
Just booze.
Jeez. I was my brother used to go up there with you guys all the time.
I was probably 15.
Yeah, dude.
So, and my parents would find me in strange spots. Like I walked home from a party and I passed out in a ditch on the side of the road.
I've done that.
And then I had to go to a wrestling tournament the next day.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
I did win it though.
You did.
Hammered.
That's what I'm saying.
I was young.
That's a fucking champion right there.
Ogdensburg, hungover as a motherfucker.
Oh, dude.
I have no idea.
That's awesome though. That's a true.
I'd have puked all over.
I actually made weight too, because I ended up puking a lot. It makes sense. So I ended up making weight because I was so hungover. Yeah, I actually made weight that day in a lighter weight class. So I was hungover, but I was in a lighter weight class, and it worked out for everybody. I still got the plaque at home.
Hell yeah, buddy. That's awesome. So when did the hard shit come in? Because so from my experience, it's always Coke, especially around here. Coke is the first thing that I ever did that was like a hard substance. I didn't even think of painkillers when I was a kid. It was always Coke.
I never
like the first drugs I got into, or like how it.
Well, weed obviously. We all smoke weed.
All right, yeah, like weed.
I don't
like
think weed's a
shrooms.
gateway drug though. I've never smoked.
Well, no,
weed
I'm not
and
saying that, but it's usually the first drug that you try.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't.
My bad.
Maybe
My bad.
I don't know.
I mean,
No, you're good.
Continue.
You're good.
My
Of course.
junior and senior year, I was doing like acid, shrooms, shit like that.
But that hit
It
our
was
friend
normal.
group pretty hard.
Yeah.
That hit our friend group because we kind of ended up hanging out with the same crew for a little while. And I always stayed to my punk roots, and then I went to the hillbilly side. And then you guys kind of all went to like the festival. It's like that year that Modown was at the Castle.
I snuck into Modown.
That was the year that you guys all
I lost my car.
You guys all
I have
took
a
a
story
huge
about
turn.
that year at Modown.
Well, it was weird because like we say it all the time, like Fat Kid, aka Jesse Hill, it's good friend of the show. We love you, buddy. He went to Modown Fat Kid and came back Jesse. Like, you know what I mean? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
He went to Modown as Fat Kid, like little Fat Kid.
He found himself.
And
found Jesse.
he came back as Jesse. And it was just like, who the fuck is this kid?
That was the first place I ever took acid.
It wasn't. I didn't go.
I was looking
even
for
though it was in my
shrooms.
backyard.
What road was Modown in?
It's on Robinson
It's
Road.
on Robinson
So
Road.
I
Modown.
parked
at
my
the,
car at
Galston
some
Castles.
random person's driveway.
I believe that. All them houses
babe.
right there, right on that road leading up to it.
Can you get my
Yeah, because
pocket,
you
please?
snuck in.
I
right?
snuck in.
Bro, yes. You
So
guys were screaming
I was
my name.
fucked.
It was,
I don't even. I don't.
Yes.
Remember, I was on something because I don't remember it. I don't know what the fuck happened. But I
Yes,
parked in somebody's driveway, snuck into the woods. I left that night,
Beers going.
and I couldn't find my car.
I believe it.
I was walking up and down the road. People were picking me up, like, dude, I can't find my car. Help me out. For fucking 6 hours walking up and down that huge fucking road. I ended up finding my car that night, though. Thank God.
How long did it take you?
The next day, a ticket comes for me in the mail. So I didn't even have. So
Damn,
my
quick.
brother ordered.
Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah, so I ended up getting in with a ticket. So I'm like, I fucking almost lost my car, and I had a ticket coming.
Oh, I thought you meant like a parking ticket or something. Like
the
I got a
ticket-
ticket
That's what I
from
thought
the-
he meant.
Oh,
Like,
no.
damn, that was quick.
I got,
fast.
I
Holy
got,
shit.
I got my wristband
Damn.
for the festival the
Damn.
next day.
Oh,
in the mail.
shit.
So I ended up being able to go in with the wristband.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had no interest in even. It was literally in the backyard of my mom's house. Like you could hear it from my mom's, and I had no interest in going.
Oh, that was a good time.
I was like, "Fuck you, hippies! I'm not going to that
went-
shit." And then
I
I
went-
went on the road with Zach 2 years later.
I went up with Wayne Kyle. They got tickets, and then I was going to buy tickets at the gate, and then ended up getting one in line from someone that got a pre-sale one, so I saved like $50.
Oh hell yeah!
But then we were tripping, whatever, and I was like, "You guys, I'm going back to the tent. You know, like I want to go chill." Like, "Oh, you good? You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to go lay down. I just want to chill by myself." I'm laying there. I don't know how long passed, and then I hear Keith. I'm like,
Did I really just hear that?
Nobody here knows my name. That wasn't Derek. That was a female. Like that. Nobody. Who the fuck was that?
Everybody from
I'm like,
around
nah.
here went to that festival.
Yes, well,
Everybody.
nobody. Whatever. And then I hear Keith Crane. I'm like, all right, I'm not tripping. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Here he comes up with Amanda. What was it, Sarah?
Dude,
we're just stuck in with
I literally
Josh,
thought it was
think.
March still. So my memory ain't the best.
okay,
I
but-
literally thought it was March this month.
Like, oh yeah, you guys. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm tripping balls, and I hear you. I'm just laying there, and I hear somebody screaming my name. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You guys, yeah, we just snuck in. We had to walk up a hill. You know, we're going through the woods. There was a river.
I think a lot of people did that.
There was 4 or 5 of us.
I think I think a bunch of people from around here didn't want to pay to get in, so they all just. I know a bunch of people that snuck into that festival.
There was so many arrests.
It was
and
like a
everything.
2-mile walk,
Oh, I believe it.
and I'm pretty sure
There was
I
a
didn't-
hike back, like drive back there to get to the like.
Well, it's
front
like
parking
close
lot.
to the pits. If you guys aren't familiar, the pits in Mohawk is on
it's a little
Mort's.
past it,
Yeah,
same road. Yeah.
yeah, Mort's Road. It's right off Mort's Road.
Yeah, that was my first festival actually, but since
Same,
then I've been to
same.
like fucking shitloads.
Yeah,
Went to Bonnaroo a couple years ago, and that's the only other one I went to.
yeah. We just did a whole festival, a whole festival episode for me. It was like I talked about me going to the one and only big festival that I've ever been to, but Fuck. What the
So
hell?
where? How'd I got to the hard drugs?
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I had a brain fart there.
I mean, I always
His memory's a little bit better than he's
Yeah.
giving himself credit for.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I mean, he literally said standing in my kitchen, like, I got a great fucking memory. Did he
For
not
some-
say that?
That I don't remember. But
for some stuff like, but short-term memory isn't the best. So
Fair.
like
Fair.
short-term stuff.
But yeah, so what was the first like hard substance besides? I mean, I don't consider hallucinogenics hard substances because there's no addictive property to it. I mean, maybe there is, but not in,
maybe mentally.
not in my life.
I would say that
anyway.
on the same level as weed. Like it's more mental than it is physical.
I mean, who's eating acid every day? You got to be a
Nobody.
real
No, I don't know
warrior.
anybody.
You got to
I don't
be
know
a
anybody
real
either. I don't know
warrior to be
anybody
eating
either.
acid every day.
I don't know anybody either,
Timothy Leary, that was about. I think
Maybe, I
he
think
might
they
have been
did.
doing it every day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think that
their
was,
hits back then were
he was just trying to fucking perfect the recipe.
right.
You
right,
know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what was the first hard substance that you did, and what was your experience with it, if you can remember?
So I took opiates for somebody my first time really in high school. I sniffed I did hydros in class in living environment.
Yeah.
I think you were there actually.
Well, I
in
was
the Herkimer.
I was sniffing Subutex in what the fuck? Whose class was it? It was a study hall where the computers were in the table. You guys remember that?
Yeah,
Mr. Lands.
Mr. Lands.
Mr.
Yeah, it was right-
Lands.
Go up the stairs to the left, right there.
Yeah, I was in his study
Carney,
hall, and
whatever her
they
name
had that little weird thing, and I'd put my head in there, and I'd break up lines of Subutex and sniff Subutex.
So that was I only did opiates one time pretty much in my whole high school career. That was it. So I didn't did it my first time. I never did it again.
Well, you were sniffing hydros?
Yeah.
And I was there?
You were in that class.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh,
but
who was our
she
teacher?
fucking hated me. I had to take her class 3 times.
Was it
I
in
didn't-
ninth grade?
Oh fuck.
What was her name?
I don't remember.
It was in ninth grade, right?
Living environment.
Yeah, that's ninth grade, I think.
Yeah, I took that when I was a
Living
senior.
environment.
Yeah,
I was
all right.
still in that same
Science
class.
class?
Yeah.
What the
Was-
fuck was
Mrs.
it?
Simpson?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, that bitch. She was a fucking bitch to everybody.
The ironic thing, she had the cow of the week, and she was a little chemical of the week.
If you didn't go to school with Keith back in the day, dude, every teacher hated him because he would just make fun of every teacher all the time.
Mr. Mitchell used to take my desk away. Make me sit in the front, right in the front, take the desk away. I'm like, all right.
So sniffing hydros.
One time, so I didn't like doing opium. I'm like, God, fucking, this is the best. So it just happened once. I don't even know the whole story, but I did it once. I didn't touch it till 2011 when I graduated. My junior and senior year wasn't the best. I planned on going to college and wrestling and all that stuff, but I developed severe anger issues. I got really in big trouble at a wrestling tournament. I hit a kid and cops had to bring me out. and
Oh shit, really?
So
Yeah, I did not know that.
I told the kid's mom his son sucked. In front of her. Your kid, I was killing the kid, but he was cheating. The refs already hated me at that point.
Right,
So,
you had a name for yourself in the wrestling world.
Yeah, I was just a bad. If something wasn't gonna go my way, I'd figure out how to take a timeout or something because I was tired. I was smoking cigarettes, so you got a good 45 seconds, and I need to fucking injury
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Baby. So I told you if I didn't,
I need to go fucking puff a
I
stove
know, I'm
quick.
dude, I'm fucking tired. I need my inhaler. So I would do injury time and shit. And I was beating this kid 12-2, and he was using his knuckles against my teeth and shit. And
I think
the ref wasn't calling it. So, and my dad was saying shit, coaches were, and I had it, and I fucking turned around and just fucking hit him a little bit.
I think
Yeah,
you've
so
always
fuck
had a
you.
little bit of an
Yeah,
anger
yeah.
problem, though.
So I got disqualified. I said, absolutely not. This kid's cheating. And his mom saying shit. I'm like, your kid fucking sucks. Just yelling. I got this mom crying because he was getting smoked. Kid was from Governor, probably, I think.
What's that?
Town in upstate
Outside
New
Albany,
York.
right?
Somewhere. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's that.
I don't-
It's
I-
outside
I-
Kansas
I-
City, Albany or Syracuse. We
Oh,
used to play them
really?
in high school there. Yeah, we used to play them in high school and football. And
It's
shit,
up
right?
by Thousand Island somewhere too.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, okay, okay.
either way, I had to stay outside of the high school at Canastota the rest of the day. This was early on.
And you took the bus there, so you were stuck
I mean,
there?
I was with my family, and my parents were like, "Fuck you, stay outside."
Well, was
Look,
your brother wrestling too?
No, he was done a year before that.
Okay.
So I had to sulk outside, It sucked. So when that happened, like my dreams kind of like flipped. So
Right.
by the time I graduated, I had like no plan, no nothing. I just started talking to a female, whatever. My
Who was
life,
it?
I don't want to talk about it. We don't need to talk about that. But my life flipped from just partying on the weekends. I had
Right.
like shit jobs at Yeti's, stuff like that. My life was just, I'm not, Yeti's is probably an amazing
It's
job
not.
now, but that was
it's
my,
a fucking terrible establishment. It should close down.
no, I like their food. I'm
When
not
was the
saying
last
that.
time you went there?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Bullshit.
I swear to God.
And you
About
thought
a
it was
month ago.
good?
Yeah.
We
I
got
like
pizza
Riggies.
and wings a couple weeks
I like
ago.
grains.
Yeah, the Riggies were good. Yeah,
Really?
we got their fried banana peppers.
But I
yeah,
also
not bad.
used to take people to McDonald's on Valentine's Day, so my opinion really means nothing for food, all right?
I support it. I
All
support
right,
it.
so
If it's a first date, you don't know.
Yeah.
$200 on
I
somebody
mean,
you'll never see again.
my game's got a little better now, but at one point I'd have $20 and I have $3 for food. I'm going to go to McDonald's with my food for Valentine's Day, and the rest is going for drugs.
Right,
So
yeah.
that was it, so.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
I get that.
I switched crowds, and then they were all into opiates and benzos and stuff.
Right.
So that I was the kind of guy that who whatever somebody else was doing, pretty much substance or alcohol wise, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I had to take a drug test for somebody, and there needed to be opiates in it.
Okay.
So I took the opiates and I peed. They had to turn it into a PO. That's how I got started. And
course.
I liked it then because my life was going nowhere, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it with them.
Yeah, you
know?
felt needed.
Yeah, at that point, I guess.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, yeah. Especially if you were doing that for
Felt
somebody.
connected to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
just feel like, oh wow, it's free. You're like, oh,
And then that just went from oxys to snorting it to it went to heroin. I really don't remember the exact day, but the day I did shoot it, I was sniffing it for like 6 months, and then
Yeah, everybody
people were shooting it, and then it just went there.
everybody always says that. Like so I went through the same thing as we talked about before we started filming. A lot of people don't know. I'm not proud of it. And I mean, I was 16. I was already into opiates pretty bad because what people don't realize is the opiate epidemic hit here pretty hard, as it did for a lot of other places as well. But especially around here, I mean, dude, you could buy a real Oxycontin, a 20 milligram Oxycontin for like $5, or it might even have been a little cheaper than that back in the day. I don't really remember, but I mean, it got to the, so like I hung out with the older crowd, obviously, which you guys know. And the guy was a drug dealer, and I was eating pain pills already, and he had switched his business from weed to heroin. And I remember the first day I ever did it. I'll never forget it. It probably changed my life forever. He's like, I don't know why you're wasting all this money on these pills. He's like, you can buy this. It's half the price, and it's the same high. He's like, you don't. He goes, and because heroin has a stigma for a reason. You know what I mean? You see these like movies, Hollywood. They fucking, people shooting it. I mean, it's not what they make it seem like in the movies or whatever. But when you're 16, you're like, ooh, you're like heroin. Ooh, like, you know what I mean? You're like, God damn. And then you see it in real life, and you're like, oh, this isn't what it looks like on TV. Like, this is just a little beige powder. Like, almost looks like Coke, and I've done that 1,000 times. So what the fuck's the difference? You know what I mean? So 16 years old, I'm fucking did my first line of heroin, and I didn't throw up, and I didn't die. So I was like, oh, all right, this ain't too bad. And it gave me the same euphoria as any painkiller does, as you guys know. And I'm like, all right, no big deal. And then I did it for a couple months, and then the needles came out for the other people. I've never stuck a needle in my arm. I was way too scared. That shit fucking... The first time I ever saw somebody shoot up, I was like, I'm done. Done with heroin. I'm going back to pain pills. I'm not getting into this. And it ended up ruining a couple of good friends of mine's lives. But it's fucking crazy being that young, especially when around here, people weren't doing heroin yet then. It was like 2008. It was like 2007, 2008, whenever the fuck I was 16. Do the math. I'm not doing it. I'm terrible at fucking numbers. So
Long time ago.
Yeah, it was forever ago.
back in
But
my
yeah.
day.
So what I want to ask you is what is your craziest story that you can remember being on drugs? Ones that you can talk about. Because I know we spoke about some things off camera that we're not going to bring up. But if you...
I mean, I got crazy stories on how I got drugs. But when I was using...
Can we talk about your arrests and stuff?
Yeah, I don't care. But, yeah, we could do that. But I'm just saying, I don't have any crazy stories getting high.
No?
It's like, if I'm high, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I'm talking... I'm losing my high.
So, okay, so
don't talk to me. That's what I mean.
What was your experience getting high? So, like, when I would get high, it would give me, like, insane amounts of energy. And, like, it was some of my most productive days ever in life. And, like, that was my... that was why I did painkillers. Because the second I ate them, it was, like, super Alex. It was, like... I didn't have, so the nodding out and all that shit would happen later on, like several hours after I would take them. So like, but pain pills, obviously. But like that initial few hours, like I could run a fucking marathon, no problem. And my friends that I was hanging out with at the time would even be like, you get smarter when you do drugs. It's weird. And I'm like, don't say it. Like now I'm thinking back on it, because back then I was like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I need these. Now I'm like, you should never say that to anybody.
Right?
That's so terrible.
You're just
like,
empowering.
You're just
that was
encouraging.
not me.
Yeah.
No, I never did anything productive high.
Really?
No, never.
I think that's
At first I did kind of like a low dose oxy. Like I had so much energy. I'm like, fuck it, bam, boom, didn't feel a thing. I'm like, pop, 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 pop. But anything over like 10 milligrams, I would get itchy nosed and.
See, I would be.
I think
I'd
me
start
making
falling
to
asleep,
work on
like,
time was productive.
I would love.
I used to show up to work 3 hours late and be like, dude, I'm early. What's going on? You know, like I'm getting yelled at. Like fucking no. That
What
was
happened?
See, I would
happened?
love. I would love to eat. I would eat 5 Hydro 10s or Perk 10s or whatever the fuck it was, and then I would have. So I remember one time specific. We went to this mountain snowboarding, and they had a special where you'd go on New Year's Day and you could ride at nighttime for $5. You'd get a $5 lift ticket. And on the ride there, we were like 5 minutes away. Ate a handful of pills. I had one of the best snowboarding days of my life. I threw a backflip down on a fucking huge kicker, dude. It was probably like a 45-foot tabletop. And all this powder and all the people on the chairlift were cheering, and like Jake Lyon saw it and all my boys saw it. I'm just like, whoom. Like it was one of the greatest experiences of my life, and I was higher than hell. And it literally made me feel like people say that when you do, what is it, angel dust or what the fuck is it
PCP?
called? PCP. When you do PCP, it like gives you superhuman strength. People can like lift up cars and stop trains and whatever yada yada bullshit. But, like, that's how I felt when I would do opiates. I wouldn't get, like, it wouldn't slow me down. It sped me up. Mm-hmm. It was weird. And nobody else understands this.
I don't.
Nobody gets it. And, like, I don't want to throw my mom under the bus, but when she has a super bad back and she has a prescription to painkillers sometimes because her back is so fucked up she can barely walk. But she said when she takes them, it does the same thing to her. Like, she'll eat a hydro, like one hydro, 7.5, and she'll be like,
I mean, those are prescribed from a doctor. I feel like,
right.
Especially
no,
with,
she's not an addict by any means.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
just saying
those meds are for you to live a normal life. Like she was prescribed them for a reason.
Yeah.
She's in pain taking them.
Right.
Able to.
But the feeling I'm saying is like when I describe it, she's like, I'm the same way. She's like, I tell people all the time when I talk to my friends because they're old. So all old people are on painkillers. And they're just like, oh, I can't take them. It makes me sick, and I get dizzy, and I get tired, and I get that. My mom's like, I could run a fucking marathon on these things. What the hell?
Yeah, but my thought process is if I could run a marathon, I'm not high enough. So we're going to go find more until I get to where I want to
really?
be.
Feel that.
Like,
See,
I want to
be able to sit there like.
Yeah, I want to do nothing.
See,
I'm not going to eat high. I wasn't going to drink any water, talk to you.
Really?
I
chill and lay there.
I want to close my eyes and just enjoy it. And that would never happen because people would want to talk. I'd have to walk away.
Did it ever get to the point where it wasn't enjoyable anymore? Or what is it? Because I've seen personally, I've seen addicts to the point where like, I'm just doing this so I'm not sick anymore. Like there is no enjoyment anymore.
That too, but it's the enjoyment of going I was the addict where if I don't care if I got $10 or $2,000 in drugs, I'm using that in one day.
Yeah.
So I'm waking up sick. So I loved that fix because I was going through the whole day trying to find money to get high. I'd set up a huge plan, wrote it down, like I'm going to do this much, that much. I'm going to have stuff for the morning. I'd put it aside, hide it behind my dresser. And at 1 a.m, I'm going for it every time. So I never, and even up till I got clean, that was my struggle for years of waking up in the morning, trying to figure out how to get money from any way.
Right.
So I always enjoyed it.
So let's go back to that. So you said you were fine talking about it. The arrest that we were talking about, you did some pretty wild shit there for a minute, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to touch bases on what you were doing and explain to everybody like how I don't want to.
Yeah. So heroin's expensive. If you use a lot, it's really cheap if you just
like what I was
around.
doing. Yeah, it was like $10 a slip. And for people that don't know, around here we get powder. East Coast or West Coast people get tar. It comes in it looks like a ball of hash, which is tar heroin. I've heard it's trash. I don't know. I've never tried it. But what we get over here on the East Coast, it's powder. So it looks like cocaine with like a little tan
like a brown
tinge to it.
Yeah.
And what we get them in is slips. You get them in a wax paper slip. I mean, I don't know if that's how it comes nowadays. I haven't fucked with it in 15 years.
It comes in like caps now.
Oh, really? So when I would get it, it would come in like a little wax paper bag.
I don't know what it comes in Herkimer. I just work in the detoxes.
Right, so you probably see all sorts of shit. Yeah.
And shit like that.
I forgot where I was going with that one.
So my first arrest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was at Tendy in Herkimer County Community College. Like,
shout out H Trip.
I don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea to go to school and try to maintain
an addiction,
my heroin addiction, and work.
Right.
First went the job gone. I can't fall asleep. I was dishwashing, falling asleep in the sink.
Gee.
Fucking freaking out.
I don't mean to laugh.
No,
I'm
it is
sorry.
funny. I wish it was on video. Like
just seeing you like nodding out, like
I'd be like, I got to get out a little bit early tonight. There's something going. I was sick. Like,
right.
I need to go out, figure out a ride to Utica. If my parents wouldn't let me use the car, it was just a process every day. But as I was sitting in class one day, dope sick as fuck. This guy from the city is looking at me. I'm like sick.
He knew.
He's
he
like,
fucking knew.
Need money? I look at him. I take my whole entire seat and I put it right next to him. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, meet me at the Nice and Easy in Herkimer after school.
Right.
So and he told me to bring my ID, So after school, I think I'm done at 3:00. I go meet him there. I'm pretty sure he just went there and he didn't even finish school. I think it was literally just coming to classes.
Oh yeah, poaching.
Kids.
Probably poaching people.
So I go to Nice and Easy. He's like, listen, I have these checks and we're gonna work together. We're gonna have you fake IDs and you're gonna go into banks and cash these checks. They're $2,500. You keep 19, I get 500.
What?
I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in.
Hell
I'm sick
yeah.
right now. Sign me up.
Yeah, right.
He went home, got me an ID.
I think anybody that wasn't doing drugs would have been
it
on
sounded
board
good.
for that.
And I
That's
didn't think,
crazy.
And I never got arrested. I mean, I got arrested for dumb stuff when I was a kid.
Right.
But nothing serious until now. So we were ready to go that day. So we went to the first bank.
Like that meant, so you meet him at Nice and Easy, and he's like, we're going to the bank right now.
Yeah. So like 2 hours, like an hour later, 4:30, right before they're closed, we go in the bank.
Damn.
And it was super scary. I was so scared.
Oh, I would have been shit my pants.
So I parked my car down the street. So I go in, I give them the check. They scan your ID for like 2 seconds not anymore because there was like 20 of us that got arrested.
Right.
They look at your ID, get back, and they're like, "What do you want it in?" I'm like freaking out. Like I'm going just like, "What do you want the money?" And I'm like 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s. Let's go. I'm ready. So she's counting out the money.
I'm scared.
Fucking
Let's make
sign
it
whatever.
as fast as possible. Give me the fuck out of here.
So I'm out like I'm.
What do you want? An envelope?
I don't know.
So I'm like,
put them in.
I'm like freaking out. I get out the bank. I'm like walking to my car, but I'm like, dude, I haven't seen this kind of money in a long time.
Right, yeah. $2,500, dude.
I call the guy, meet the guy. I could have kept the whole thing, but I wanted to keep it going. And then I kept doing that for a week. Often.
The same bank or just different banks?
I was all the way in Utica banks, Herkimer banks, all over, every bank. And then to the point where I was spending so much money that I ended up not having enough IDs and he wasn't ready to do it quick enough. So I used my own ID the last time.
Right. So how long did the whole scam last?
Like a week.
I was not expecting
That's not what I was expecting. I thought you would get in a couple, at least a few months.
No, we got a lot of financial aid money that wasn't ours.
Right.
You know, we couldn't like give it back. The dealers weren't going to give me my money back.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Right.
And like, hey, can I get my money back?
For a week.
Do you guys do refunds? I didn't like it.
So the last time.
Send this back to the cook.
So the last time I did it, I used my own ID. I'm sick as fuck, like using a shitload. And then I go in. It was the easiest process. They don't like search it or nothing at the time. They just type in the numbers, 2,500.
Yep.
Type in the numbers. Like it was easy. Like there's like a whole process now, I think. But they never gave me an issue at all.
These were bogus accounts?
No, it was the financial aid account. We were taking money from people.
That I didn't know.
People's financial aid
We were
checks,
taking
right?
financial aid money.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Refund money at the end
Well,
of
when
the
you
month,
just said that, I didn't really understand what you meant.
So it was
but
a
like,
financial aid check with my name on it.
Oh.
It was like Mohawk Valley Community College.
Fuck. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was like a whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was wild that
If you
week.
didn't get greedy, that would have been a good scam.
It would have been. But my last time I used my own ID, and I parked my car right up front. I'm pretty sure me or my
Ballsy.
significant other had my name on the back of my T-shirt, like an
Yeah,
old soccer
yeah.
shirt. Not fucking thinking. And that's the last time I did it. Like not even 3 to 4 days later, a red Cavalier pulled outside my house. I'm upstairs waking up, trying to get high, and we heard knocks on the door.
Was this at your parents' house?
Yeah, at my parents' house.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my mom was sleeping at the time. She works nights at a hospital, so she was probably sleeping.
Bobby's parents are the best too, by the way.
And they're still knocking. Like I'm trying to do my thing up here and not go down.
They knew you were there.
It was like 10 minutes goes by. It's like, oh, it's somebody we know. Go let him in. So I throw clothes on. I open up the door. I hook my head up. There's U.S. Marshals outside. And my only reaction was there's 2 doors to get in my house. I couldn't make it out the back.
Right.
In like a quick 2 seconds. So
Wait, did they go through the garage or the carport? They came in the carport and then you were going to go out the front?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I opened up the door quick and I slammed it. And Vinny and my brother.
You could say your brother's name.
My
It's
brother
fine.
and my girlfriend at the
Yeah.
time were ready. So I see them, they throw me something, and I run out the back door, through everything. I don't even know if I broke the door off. I was fucking scared. In the middle of the wintertime, no shoes on, no socks, fucking.
Probably ran right through the door.
Yeah, I don't
Said,
fucking
"Fuck
know.
this."
I make it right around the block, and cops were there, and they tackled me right into a snowbank. I almost got away if I could have got through some houses, but I was just thinking about getting the fuck out of there. That was the first time that I got in like serious trouble.
Yeah, that's a federal.
I
That's
was
a
going
federal
federal.
offense.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't fuck with the
Banks.
feds,
Fuck with the
dude.
banks.
If it
No,
was
that's the
so,
wrong
Banks
it
are
was
no
like
joke.
grand larceny, like forgery. It was forgery on multiple checks.
Jesus.
And
How old were you?
19.
Fuck me, dude.
I thought I was
Damn,
going
we
to
were
jail.
that young.
For
I
years.
remember all that. We were that
I remember.
young.
So that's why
God.
when you got here, I brought it up because I remember when it happened. I remember, like, obviously, I don't remember the date or whatever, but I clear as day remember when you got arrested because my parents, they loved you. I mean, they still do. When I told my stepmom today you were coming to my house, and she was like, "Oh my God, tell him we said hi," and oh my God, we met some, and I'm just like, okay, but
That was a
yeah,
scary
it's
moment.
fucking crazy,
like
bro.
sitting in the cop car
Crazy.
in the U.S. Marshals, like the movies. I'm like, dude, I'm fucked. Yeah, but I'm like, dude, I can't even get high today anymore. Like I'm fucking
My plans
fucked.
are ruined.
I'm crying about not being able to get high, and I'm probably going to jail forever.
At
this point.
least 10 years.
That's what you're thinking
In
every
my
time you get
head,
arrested,
it would
yeah.
at least be a 10-year sentence, if not more.
So it was like a 30-minute ride because the last bank was in Utica. So I had to do OCJ time too, and I'm like, dude, I'm like a fucking kid going to Oneida County
dude.
Jail,
Fuck that place.
and I'm fucking freaking out. I'm like, dude, there's got to be a way I get out of this. And I get there, They tell me on my arrest. They're like asking who it was. I don't say shit. I'm not saying something. I want a lawyer. They're like, it'll be easy if you do this, that, and the third. You could walk. I didn't say nothing, but I also never asked the guy's name. It's better that way.
Right, of course. You don't want to know nothing, dude.
The only reason why he knew me because he had my real ID. Like I said, I got greedy.
Right.
Like he's my real ID, and it gets arraigned. I go to Oneida County Jail. No bail.
I can't picture you in jail, dude.
Yeah.
I really
I had
can't.
a lot of friends in jail, though, so it was
I
cool.
bet.
Every time I went to jail, like 9 people I was getting high with. So I'm like, dude, what's up, bro? You know, where you been? Like, this is where you been, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so it wasn't too bad. Besides, like, I was on a block where you're locked. You're like in a cell. There's no TV, like bars, old school, like.
Oh, really?
Boom. Like it wasn't a pod.
Oh, okay.
It was like the really bad old ones.
Like
at
old
OCJ.
school, yeah.
So that was my first
like that.
cell experience. And there was plenty more, but that was my first one, and I thought I was doing forever. Because they don't really tell you nothing.
No, they
When
don't tell you
first get
shit
arrested,
until you go to court.
Yeah, you don't like-
They won't tell you anything
So I'm like
until you
calling
go
my
to court.
parents. Like I'm like, what's going? They're like, we don't fucking know.
Nobody has
you
any
know?
idea.
But I was to go back a little bit. I was actually put in. It's called strip because I was admitted to using heroin.
Okay.
So they give you like a turtle suit. I don't know if you guys heard of that.
No.
It's like
That's where you the like a straight jacket, more or less, right?
It's like a suit. Like you don't get pants or shirts. You just get like a blanket.
A onesie?
Suit. It's like a blanket, but it has like Velcro on it. It's like a suit.
Yeah.
So that's what you have.
But why?
Suicide watch. I don't know. Like you're being watched. Like you're in like a room with like 20
So
beds.
you can't do anything. You can't hurt yourself or
Yeah.
other people.
Like if you want to shower, you just throw the thing. It's your like curtain, your shower curtain. It's like an all-in-one, dude. It was
Yeah.
wild. So picture me just
I
get out
can't.
of high school. Like
I can't do it.
That was like, it was wild. Like I'm like, and I was in there with people I knew, like that I was getting high with.
Right.
Like I knew 5 of those out of the 20, and this was in
Jeez.
Oneida.
Right.
Like
So
it's like, it wasn't too bad, but I was in
And
there for a week, and then I got transferred to an actual unit.
Right.
And it was that whole week until I went to my next court date was terrible.
Could you get high in there?
No.
Because I know people.
The whole time we were trying to figure it out. We were making phone calls, like talking through the toilet, trying to see if anybody else had it in another unit.
Yeah, because I know.
Like,
I know.
it got weird in there.
I know that at Montgomery County,
I was there.
It's pretty easy
that's
to get.
where that's where.
Yeah.
not-
We were at Otsego County.
At Seago.
I've been to Montgomery County,
That's
Otsego County,
I was at
Herkimer
Mount
County,
Hungry.
Oneida County.
Well, not just from you, but I've heard
Mount Hungry, I was
from
getting
other
we got
people
Suboxone
that.
up there and weed.
Yeah, from when you're in Montgomery County, it's pretty easy to get high in there.
I never got high in jail.
Really?
Yeah, not once.
No, yeah.
I mean, that sucked at the time.
I gave up
but-
breakfast cakes for a joint.
Dude, how would you give? I could not give up food at Montgomery County. They starve you.
It was.
I was.
They do.
And I was
they
little,
do,
and
but-
I was starving. Like they give
Bro,
you. Like,
I lost like 12 pounds in there. Bro.
I thought I was.
pounds.
Ew, that would
probably
be-
should have
oh.
died from
Bad, like-
starvation in there.
Yes,
I was
bad.
eating more, getting high.
Did you get a paycheck
That's-
from the?
No.
Bro, so this dude I was in there with, his name was, I don't remember his last name. I can edit that out, but he was talking about it when we were there. He's like, yeah, he's like, you can't legally treat people like this right here, step by step. He goes, I'm going upstate for 2 years. He goes, but when I'm done with that, he goes, I'm suing this place. I'm like, oh yeah. You know, you believe everything people say when you're in there at first.
Right.
Like, yeah. I got out. I didn't think nothing of it. Forgot about it. All of a sudden, I get a letter in the mail that says, oh, you're part of a class action lawsuit from
No
versus the state of
way.
Montgomery, or the from Montgomery County, whatever, blah blah. You're entitled. You're part of the settlement, whatever. Don't do anything, and you'll automatically like lump yourself in. I'm like, yeah, they made me hungry. Like they owe me.
They owe me. What
They
the
fucking
fuck?
owe me. They owe me.
I was already in jail. Don't starve me, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like,
boom,
goddamn.
boom, boom. Waited. It was probably a month and a half later. I got a check for $541.
No
You
way.
should have got more. How long were you there?
2.5 months.
Fuck. That's not even enough.
That ain't
dude.
shit.
Yeah, no, it
You
definitely
could
not
have
enough.
died from how much they gave you. They did
Bro,
not give
we
you
got
enough.
that you get locked in if you get caught holding a breakfast cake. Contraband, they lock you in for 23 hours.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So believe it or not, I've never been in
packet,
jail.
bro. Ketchup
Really,
packet.
ever?
Never. So I've been in holding cells and I've been arrested a ton, but I've never. Oh, sorry. I was like, I thought the camera stopped rolling.
No, I can see it on the TV. I keep checking.
So yeah, luckily, yeah, I've never done anything. Well, I've never been caught for anything so
My
far.
DWI got it for me.
Well, my DWI, they didn't arrest me for Well, I got arrested for evading police, but it was immediately dropped. So, I mean, that I probably would have got jail time for, but it got dropped. So, I've never actually the only like hardcore, like not, it's not even hardcore. So, when me and Courtney split up or whatever, when all that, I was on WKTV, the whole 9. Mm-hmm. When all that shit happened, I spent 6.5 hours in a holding cell, handcuffed to a bench with no clothes on.
Oh,
but that's
that
about
probably cold.
in Dollarville.
Oh, it was
I was
even
in
colder.
fucking Dollarville, and I was freezing. I had no shirt on. I was in a pair of shorts.
Said your last name was Lion. They would have gave you some.
I
clothes.
tried. I was like, call my Uncle Bruce. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm like, my uncle's the mayor. I'm like, I need to get out of here. I'm like, this is bullshit. They wouldn't listen to me. But yeah, I've never, thank God, knock on wood, whatever you got to do. And I also live a pretty good life now. I don't fucking break the law ever or anything anymore. But yeah, I've never got locked up, luckily.
I have another question for you. How do you feel about kratom? And people
Do you
using
know anything
that?
about it?
I hate, not a fan.
Not a fan.
Why?
What are your?
I don't do it. I've only done it twice, and I hated it because it's too much. You got to consume too much powder. It's like drinking mud. So I'm over that. The first time I ever tried it, I was like, this is disgusting. So that turned me right off.
That's fair. That's fair.
But he's a big proponent
I see a lot of people
it.
use a lot of it, and you go through physical withdrawals from kratom.
Yeah, it's essentially an opiate.
And it's like a gas
yes,
station.
Yeah, you can
store.
buy it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
You can buy a kilo of it online for how much? You know.
So I do use it. I don't buy it from the gas stations. I get it from a vendor online. They have the lab test from their people they get it from. They actually test it themselves. I don't overdo it. I use maybe 7 grams a day, if that. If I use it, I'll take a teaspoon in the morning. Maybe sometimes throughout the day. I use it mostly for energy, and I have the herniated disc in my back, and it does help that. I don't abuse it. I'm not taking a bunch to the point where I feel any type of severe like opiate buzz, nothing like that. And I do when I run out of, I usually buy it by half kilo at the time. When I run out of that, I do stop taking it. I wean myself off at the end. I do stop taking it for 3 months at a time, 3-4 months, and then I'll get more and start the process again.
I just don't get what it is. It's a plant from Taiwan.
Yeah. Like
Is that what it
Thailand,
is?
like Southeast Asia.
So it's
more or
a
less.
natural product.
It helps with substance abuse too. Like
Yes, yes.
I mean, it helps with a lot of things. Like
So why are you not a fan of it?
I just haven't had any good experience with it. I guess I've seen a lot of people because it's considered a relapse in treatment, and then it leads them to other things. Like,
Oh, okay. Even though it's so readily available, people
alcohol is readily
Because it's-
available too.
Right. well-
because it's readily available, and if you don't have good self-control,
But if you're doing that instead of heroin,
It's better. It's called harm reduction. I support it. Like
It's
Keith,
definitely better,
Keith
yeah.
was
So,
talking
like,
about,
it's-
I'd support it.
okay.
You know,
like I don't overdo it. Yeah, like,
I just work like in how I just work a lot of abstinence based.
and that's
Right,
why I
right.
wanted your opinion.
Yeah,
like I wanted to see what you.
I mean,
thought.
I
like, you're-
support anyone that's trying to get better.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care if it's Suboxone, methadone, kratom, marijuana, whatever you're trying to do to make yourself have a better life. I'm on board for.
Yeah. So as long as you're not fucking
Shoot,
if you're not shooting dope every day and you're living a successful, harm-free life, that's what you're about.
And like when I first started taking it, and I was trying to figure out my dose, like I was
I gotta pee real quick,
coming
so
off
keep going.
of like in the process of getting sober, you know. So I was trying different. I was eating more than I had to. I've never gone the extracts. I stick strictly to the powder because I know it has them addictive properties for obvious reasons. So I won't go with the extracts. I refuse to. I will not. But when I was getting used to my dose, I did have them physical opiate withdrawals. It wasn't severe. You know what I mean? Like I felt like shit. Like my body hurt. Like I was anxious.
You were probably fiending for it too at that point, right?
I was, I guess, fiending. Yes, I didn't realize I was fiending for that because I was hooked on the Xanax, so I never really experienced the dope sickness daily. So I didn't wake up and ever experience that to that extent. You know what I mean? So when I felt that, I'm like, fuck, like I don't feel good. I'm like, I feel weird. Like I feel different. My girl's like, oh, well, it sounds like this. I'm like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. I haven't had any of this, and I was on such a high dose. So my buddy had some, got some from the same vendor I get it from. Took a scoop. half hour later, I felt good. I'm like, okay, I need to lower what I'm doing and do a weaning process. And that's when I started experimenting with less. And here I am. When he was at my house, I took 2 scoops when I was there. I don't hurt. You know what I mean? Like I feel fine. I'm not. Yeah.
It's like
And
I support it. Like I've tried kratom back in the day, and it didn't work for me.
It didn't.
So I mean,
see,
I go on my own personal experiences. Like I said, I'm not a fan. I can't do it because I might use something else.
It didn't do shit for me.
That's how I relate to the stuff. Like I help people get on a lot of different things.
Yep.
And like every single person is different. Everybody's struggling with something different. Some people need help with some things. I just will find a way to use something worse, like heroin and drinking again. And
that's why, like, I was never hooked on opiates. So that's why I think it affects me and you differently, more or less. You know, like I did them, yes, like I did them, but I didn't have that type of connection with it. You know, so I that, like you said, it depends on the person and their experience and background with their drug use.
Well, this has been the Talking Shit with B-Rag podcast. We're going to put all of Bobby's social medias in the description of the YouTube page. Click that subscribe button as usual. Follow that Instagram. And as always, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.